let's jump right into this explainer. We're looking at India's dual realities, how our modern economic hurdles collide with some really incredible traditional wisdom. To really get this, I want to start with a story. Picture this. A young boy, Manu, pulls a flower garland from his pocket to put on his father's photo. But his mom, Chavi, stops him. "Are you crazy?" she says. "He's still alive." Suddenly, there's a loud knock on the door. It's the village sarpanch. He gives them a brutal ultimatum. Pay back the massive debt Manu's father owes the village or get out. Penniless, they're exiled, forced to pack their bags and wander into the forest. How does a respected family just lose everything overnight? Well, we're going to use Manu's tragedy as our case study today to unpack some really complex real-world issues. Here is our roadmap for today. We're covering rural debt, the solar panel trap, combating scams, traditional food preservation, and the art of clay cooking. Seems like a wild mix, right, but as you'll see, they are all deeply connected. Kicking things off with Section 1, Rural Debt and Poverty and Breaking that Generational Cycle. So, to understand the mountain of debt Manu's family was crushed by, we need to look at the backbone of our economy. Manu's dad, Rakesh, was actually a highly respected village teacher. But this situation perfectly illustrates a really harsh cycle. A farmer or villager borrows money for agriculture or just basic social needs, but with high input costs and dropping productivity, paying back the principal, let alone the insane interest, becomes literally impossible. And the tragedy, that burden gets passed right down to the next generation. That's exactly why young Manu was suddenly on the hook for his missing dad's loans. But here's the thing, it doesn't have to be this way. Gram panchayats can actually act as a massive shield here. Instead of kicking destitute families out, these local institutions are set up to solve disputes locally, identify who needs anti-poverty aid, and build long-term plans to actually pull folks out of these exact debt traps. And, research from Anveshana's International Journal really hits the nail on the head here. Strengthening local infrastructure is absolutely crucial for genuine financial inclusion. Think about the what if here. If the local governance had stepped in to actively mediate Rakesh's debt dispute, Manu and his mom wouldn't have been wandering the forest looking for food. This brings us to Section 2, the solar panel trap and the 5,000 RP-Con illusion. So, how did Rakesh get into this mess in the first place? Well, he actually had a great idea. He collected about 8 to 10 lakh rupees from the village to buy solar panels to fix their irrigation issues. No more expensive diesel, right? But he fell for a scam that is spreading like wildfire right now. Look at this data. A brand new 600-watt TOPCon panel for 5,000 rupees? That is mathematically impossible. The raw materials alone, like silicon and silver paste, cost way more than that. A genuine panel is going to run you 15 to 18,000 rupees. Rakesh saw a deal that was too good to be true, and, well, it was. You might be wondering, where do these cheap panels even come from? Basically, they're factory rejects. They failed what's called an EL test. Think of it like an X-ray that finds invisible microcracks and dead cells inside the panel. Scammers buy this junk as scrap, polish the glass, slap on fake barcodes, and sell them to unsuspecting buyers as brand new technology. If you're ever in the market, please run these 3 simple visual tests. Check the cell gap and bus bar alignment to make sure it's totally uniform. Make sure the company logo is actually laminated inside the glass, not just a cheap sticker on the surface. And measure the dimensions against the official spec sheet. Oh, and absolutely, make sure the manufacturer is ALM listed by the government. And guys, this is absolutely crucial. We're not just talking about getting ripped off. Those hidden microcracks, they can literally cause the panel to short circuit and catch fire. When Rakesh realized the panels were highly dangerous fakes and that the village's money was completely gone, he panicked. The shame was just too much, so he ran away, leaving his family to face the wrath of the village all alone. Which leads us straight into Section 3, combating modern financial scams and how to recover your money. If Rakesh had just known what to do, he wouldn't have run. Whether it's a physical solar scam or digital fraud, time is your best friend. You have to act fast. Contact your bank immediately to freeze the account, file a cybercrime complaint, and report it to the RBI Ombudsman within exactly 3 working days. Doing this within that tight 3-day window is your absolute best shot at limiting your liability and recovering your hard-earned cash. It's also super important to know exactly who to call. Matching the specific fraud to the right regulatory body speeds up the whole process. For identity theft, go straight to the police. Stock scams? That's SEBI. Insurance fraud? Call IRDI. Don't just suffer in silence. These systems are literally built to help you navigate a crisis. But prevention is always going to be your best strategy. If an offer feels too good to be true, like a premium solar panel for 5,000 rupees, just walk away. Keep your software updated, never share your OTPs, and always double check those UPI IDs before you send a single rupee.
All right, let's shift gears a bit to Section 4, traditional food and preservation, and finding security in our heritage.
So let's get back to our story. Manu and Chavi are lost in the woods. Night is falling, they're starving. Suddenly, this booming voice startles them. It's a man named Timba from the local Veda tribe. Seeing they're hungry, he takes them in, telling them that feeding the hungry is his tribe's greatest law. And wow, he serves them this incredible meal, a spicy, mouth-watering brinjal and tomato chutney with ancestral spices. It's a lot like the famous, energy-rich litti chokha of Bihar. Traditional Indian foods are brilliantly designed for long-lasting energy, and they carry so much cultural emotion. Just talking about it is making me hungry.
What's amazing is how communities like the Pumai Naga in Gazifema village use literally zero technology to ensure they have food all year round. No fridges, no problem. They smoke meat over hearth fires for weeks, they ferment bamboo and soybeans into incredible delicacies like aksone, and they sun-dry their veggies for the lean months. By just relying on the sun, the smoke, and natural fermentation, these villages effortlessly manage seasonal food scarcity. Plus, it keeps their vibrant culinary heritage alive. It's 100% sustainable and costs absolutely nothing but time and some collective community effort. Let's bring it all together in Section 5, the art of clay cooking and returning to our rustic roots. So as Manu is eating this amazing food out of a traditional vessel, a light bulb goes off. He realizes exactly how to pay off his dad's massive debt. "Mom," he says, "we're going to start a food stall." But how do they keep the food hot for customers without modern gear? Simple. Manu remembers an ancient zero-cost trick. Pack the food in earthen clay pots, put them in wooden boxes, and cover them in grass to trap the heat for hours. If you want to harness this kind of ancient magic yourself, there are exactly 5 essential tips you need to know to make your clay pots last a lifetime. First up, you absolutely have to season a new clay pot before its first use. Because clay is porous, soaking it makes sure it retains moisture and won't crack on the stove. Just fill it with water and heat it on low, or rub the inside with wheat flour and heat it slowly until it turns a grayish color. That seals it up perfectly. After that, everyday care is a total breeze. Always cook on a low-medium flame so it heats evenly and infuses all those earthy, rustic flavors. Use wooden ladles so you don't scratch the clay. Wash it gently with mild soap, and make sure you dry it completely in the sun so it doesn't get moldy. It's totally non-toxic and gives you an incredibly healthy meal every single time. Manu's journey is just incredible, right? He went from having his life destroyed by a very modern financial scam to finding his redemption through the sustainable, traditional wisdom of his ancestors. It's such a wild contrast. Our modern world moves so fast, and we really do have to stay sharp to protect ourselves. But sometimes, the most reliable, brilliant solutions we need are rooted right there in the past. So I'll leave you with this to think about. How might you bring a little bit of that reliable, traditional wisdom into your own life today?